was at David and Susan's wedding
So that's
a bit of a
David.
while ago. This is
Okay.
David and his wife Susan.
She's beautiful.
Yeah. And then these are their two. Emily was married this summer. She's the one
Oh,
that Kathy's daughter, who's down in Tulsa. I mean, they're in Tulsa, and she was married in October. I was down there not very long ago. And Abby is at Mount Holyoke.
so wait a minute. This is Tom. This is David, but this is
But
Kathy's daughter.
these are Kathy's two daughters. This
Oh,
is
okay.
when David and Susan were married, and they're the ones that lived back
So
in.
David and Susan were married after Kathy by quite a bit.
Yeah.
Oh.
Oh, David. David went with girl after girl whom I adored. I mean, oh, he had the greatest girlfriends you could ever imagine. I fell in love with each and every one of them, and then, you know, if they would begin to get serious, David was gone. Oh yeah. But finally, he got married. He fell in love with Susan, and that one stuck.
Okay, so how old he must have been? Well, she looks about 12, 10 or 12, I guess, 12?
Emily?
Yeah.
Yeah, probably.
So, and now she's in her 20s, is she, Emily?
Yeah. I should be able to, and I've got a little book somewhere that tells me when everybody's
So,
birthday is.
let's say this is about 10 years ago. So, and David's my age. So, he was in his mid-40s when he got married, or early 40s?
Early 40s,
Okay.
probably, yeah.
All right. And do they have any kids?
Yeah, they have Chris.
Okay, so she's young. Susan must be younger than David.
Yes, she is, 5 or 6 years younger.
Okay. All right. Well, that's good. Wow, like gorgeous kids and everything. This is David and his wife Susan, and then Kathy's two girls. The taller of the girls just is the one that got married a
Yeah.
couple
Oh,
years
right.
ago.
Yeah, Emily.
Very pretty. Nice family.
Abby is at Mount Holyoke. This
Oh.
is her
That's
sophomore.
the younger one?
Yeah, number one. I think this is her sophomore year
This
there.
must have been about 10 or 12 years ago.
Yeah.
Is it the 24th today?
Today is, the 24th.
I can't even tell you what month it is. It's still October.
October.
It's
yeah.
October.
You can tell because you see the Halloween decorations.
Oh, that helps. Oh,
Yeah.
good God, that reminds me, I've got to get all kinds of treats to hand out at the door.
Well, we're very bad. We turn off the lights and we pretend we're not home.
Well, I've given serious thought to doing that. I actually don't get too much traffic because there are no houses across the sidewalk.
And here they're saying there's probably going to be less than usual because of all the crazy stuff that's
This,
going on.
right. A lot of parents aren't going to let their kids go out.
So who are these people? These look like grandchildren.
Okay, this is not mine.
Oh, not yours. Well, maybe you shouldn't even tell me.
No,
'cause I'm
I will
gonna be-
tell you because
Okay.
it's important. My son David Calkins would get these great girlfriends. I'd fall in love with each of them. And when they would begin to get serious, David was gone. This went on for years. Well, this is the family of one of his girlfriends. that when she was his girlfriend, my stepmother Kathleen said, "David, if you let this one get away from you, I'll never speak to you again." But he did. But we've
Can
kept
I
in touch.
assume that your mom did not hold to that promise?
Right. Right. But anyway, this was David's girlfriend that we all absolutely adored, and this was her last Christmas card. And
Oh, no, and you kept it?
yeah,
You keep it out on the table?
Things could change.
absolutely.
The one that got away.
Yeah,
This is the one.
yeah.
This is her.
I have visited her out in Seattle, stayed at her home
Oh my goodness.
with her and her husband and
So-
family.
Is this she?
Yes,
Okay.
yeah.
So she got married, it looks like, and had
Yep,
kids.
oh, they all got married.
All right.
They all got married. David
All right.
was late getting married,
So
but he
she's-
seems very happy. And he has Chris, and he'll never have another. Susan had the most miserable pregnancy.
Oh, really?
She had, literally toxemia pregnancy,
Oh.
and Chris was born early, and fortunately survived, and he's fine and healthy. And
Is this David and
yeah, that's the
Susan
three of
and
them.
Chris? Okay.
Chris
Oh, he
is,
looks very blonde, Chris does.
Yeah, David was very blonde, and,
Oh,
you know,
was
I mean, at that age.
Okay,
he
were
was
you,
very
were you
blonde.
blonde as a kid?
Not particularly,
How
no.
about Roy? Maybe Roy
I
was.
have no idea.
Okay.
I have no idea. He had blue eyes, so he probably was blonde in a way.
Well, so it sounds like he waited for the right one.
I think so, I think so.
Okay.
Yeah. Susan is, well, Susan would have been somewhat happy here if she could have been practicing her profession.
Yeah.
But as I say, you have to get licensed in both Missouri and Kansas living in this city. And it was just taking forever, and it just never
Are
finally
there
came
two
through.
mayors of Kansas City?
Yeah, one in Kansas and one in Missouri. I mean, they're two quite separate cities, very different. They couldn't
Really?
possibly be more different. One was a southern state, slaves, slavery, the
Yeah,
whole.
but the city must be awfully enmeshed.
Well,
this
Kansas
point.
City, Kansas, we look upon as a hick town.
Really?
Yeah. Now, I live in Kansas, but I don't live in Kansas City, Kansas. I live in the little town of Fairway, Kansas, which is part of a postal district known as Shawnee Mission, Kansas. My address can be either 5514 Melinda Road, Fairway, Kansas, zip code 66205, etc., or it can be 5514 Melinda Road, Shawnee Mission. And as I say, Shawnee Mission is not a town. It's a postal district that includes little city of Fairway, a Prairie Village, a Mission Highlands, etc., etc., etc. So
So Kansas City, Kansas is a
It's
hick
over there in
town, and
Wyandotte
Kansas
County.
City, Missouri is a cosmopolitan city?
yes,
Oh,
Kansas City, Kansas is a hick town, so to speak.
interesting.
Remember, we have this on video.
Oh. Well, I don't live in Kansas City, Kansas. It's not going to bother me.
She lives in Fairway, Kansas.
I live in
Okay.
Fairway,
Got it.
in the postal district of Shawnee Mission. Which is very confusing.
Now, you had mentioned on the phone that I guess your grandparents had, it might have actually been your dad. There was some letter that, they're very good about correspondence, and some letter that
They
made
had a
the
family
rounds.
letter, right. There were 8 children surviving and living and in touch with each other. And I don't think they invented this, but Dad had heard about another family that did this. And I forget who may have started, probably the oldest one, like Uncle John, may have started, Jack's dad. And, well, not really his dad, but
His legal dad.
yeah, right. And anyway, the letter would make the rounds about probably 3 times a year, about every 4 months. It would get to the 8 kids. And when it back to you, you took out your letter from the last time and wrote a new letter. And they kept in touch with each other that way for years. It was wonderful.
Does anybody still have any of the letters?
I doubt it.
Oh, that's
I
too
doubt it.
bad.
Yeah, but it was great. I mean, when they got here, we all sat down and
Read the letters.
read the letters. Yeah, right. Yeah,
Well,
I thought
that's
that
great. That's a real chain letter,
Indeed.
and one that you
Yeah.
don't mind getting.
But eight kids that kept in touch with each other until they were all probably in their 70s or 80s. Because none of them died young. Well, there was one, Nora, died as a child. I mean, they said that Grandma Kiger had the new baby and the dead baby in bed with her for a few, an
That is
hour or two.
heartbreaking
Yeah,
to think
yeah.
of that scene.
Yeah. But Cora, Nora, Laura, Stella were the 4 girls that lived. And John, Ross, oh God, Paul, who the heck am I forgetting?
Maybe there were only 7.
No, I think there were 8.
And which one went to California? Or
Helen.
Okay,
Yeah,
well,
Aunt Helen.
we got Laura, Cora, Stella.
And Helen, that's 4.
Okay.
That's right. Cora was the oldest, and then Laura, and then Stella, who was just older than my dad, and then Helen, who was out in
But it
California.
was Nora, Cora, Laura. Oh,
Nora
Cora.
died.
Oh, the Nora died.
Yeah.
So there were only
Yeah.
4.
So there were
Okay.
8 that grew up
Okay.
and kept in touch with each other through this family letter. As they were into their 30s and 40s, they began to to do that, and we just always look forward to the, you know, to the letter arriving and reading them all, and then Dad would have to write a new one to replace that one and send it on.
It's a great idea.
It really was for a family of
I wonder if
8.
it would fly in my family. Probably not. And now with email and everything, people don't.
It'd be easier in a way, but it's harder to find the time these days to do that kind of thing too.
Yeah,
At least
most
for
women
me.
are working now,
Yeah.
and then they were staying home, of course.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Just life is faster, I think.
it sure is, yeah. It sure is.
Well, I notice you have a lot of pictures, so maybe we should find out who these people are.
Okay.
Show it to the camera. Not too close.
Tell me when and where.
It's sort of trained on Ginny and a little bit left of Ginny, so something like that. I think it's probably enough.
Okay. Well, what we have here are 4 generations of girls.
Yay! No dogs.
I could handhold.
Right.
No, that's
Okay, this is my grandmother,
your grandmother. So that would be.
and her name was Rathburn.
That would be. Is that on
On my mother's side. See, this is my
your
mother.
mother's side?
This is my mother.
Okay.
And this is me, and this is Kathy. When she was less than a year old, I would say.
Beautiful picture.
Yeah. And in the front study there are 2 or 3 photos on the wall of 4 generations in my husband's family. Like when he was the child and the father and the grandchild.
Wow, your mother's gorgeous. These two look so much alike, don't they?
Yeah, great deal. Yeah.
Kathy's adorable. That's beautiful.
Well, we have to look at the 4 generation
That
pictures
doll
in there.
looks pretty pathetic. Looks like it's been through 4 generations
Yeah,
by itself.
it's been tossed around a bit. Oh, yes.
And I noticed you have a portrait of your kids over the fireplace.
Yes. Yeah, that was I'm trying to think, was that a surprise gift one Christmas? Or did I actually talk them into having that done?
They look happy about it. They don't look like they've been forced into it.
True enough, yeah. Yeah, that was back when they were all in college.
Where did you say Kathy went?
She went to Wellesley, where I'd
Wellesley,
gone.
okay, and
Yeah.
they both went to Princeton.
David was class of 70, Kathy was 71 at Wellesley, and John was 73. They were born like popcorn at Princeton.
I went to Sweetbriar my freshman year and spent a couple weekends up at Princeton.
Uh-huh.
I didn't know your son was there.
Yeah, David was class of 70, John was, Kathy was 71, Wellesley, and 73. At
And
Princeton.
where are these people?
Well, this is John and his family,
Okay.
many years ago. John and Mary. Now, Brett is a junior in high school now. And Allie is, I think, 9th grade. And Luke.
Look at that mustache, would you?
Oh, he still has that.
Oh my gosh,
Did he have
I'm
it
glad
up?
you
No,
warned
see,
me.
up there, David
Yeah.
had a mustache. David does not, but John has a,
Does he still have
yeah,
the...
yeah,
Wow.
virtually a handlebar mount mustache, yeah.
Wow.
Right, yeah. Yeah. This is, okay, no problem. And Luke, obviously take at the same time.
Yeah.
Luke
They have
and
3 kids and David has 1
David
and
has
Kathy
1.
has 2.
right, and
Okay. Same kids. No. Yeah.
yeah, this is, well, this is Brett and Allie in more recent years. They see Brett now is a junior in high school, so he's a good deal older than this at this point in time. But,
Yeah, I think we can take a break here for a minute if you want.
this is, well, Yeah, this is my brother as a little boy.
Okay.
That's before I was born.
All right, well, let's put that aside. We'll do this one first. Jeff, you have to come sit down.
Okay, well, you want me to set this up right?
Okay.
Look what we had.
Yeah, do you need
Brighter
more light?
light.
Is it, you think it's brighter over by the window?
Yeah, I think it's a good deal brighter over there. Got that?
Yep. Now, is this towel here for a reason?
Eileen, A-I-L-E-E-N.
Oh, AI.
Yeah.
Okay.
I mean, some people call her Eileen, some people call her Eileen. I think my dad called her Eileen. But anyway,
And what was her maiden name?
Rathburn, R-A-T-H-B-U-R-N.
Okay.
And my mother's sister, who was 3 years younger, was married first. And they had a house, and actually they never lived alone. Mother and they got into the house, and Mother and Dad were married and moved in with them. And when Mother and Dad got a house and moved out, while my grandmother and grandfather moved in with them and lived with them all their lives. So, but they had a son 3 years after my brother was born, and the two boys, my brother and the cousin. In these photos, this is my brother.
Okay, that's your brother. Is this your brother?
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah.
And your brother's name again?
Ross Jr.
Oh, okay.
Edgar Ross Kiger Jr. Yeah.
Oh, so it was Edgar Ross.
Uh-huh.
Okay.
Usually just E. Ross, but it was Edgar, and I don't know where the.
So Louise's, so John Kiger's brother was Edgar Ross also. Okay.
Yeah. Mhm. These photos were, the two boys were.
Is this your dad?
No, that's my grandfather. My aunt and uncle never lived alone, so help me. When they were first married, they moved in with my grandmother and grandfather, and then my aunt and uncle got a house, and my grandparents moved in with them. And,
So this is your mother's dad,
yeah,
Mr. Rathburn.
yeah, right.
Okay.
And that's my brother when he was a little boy, and that's my brother, and that's my cousin. And my dad and mother, I guess,
So
holding
this
Ross.
is Ross Kiger, Lee
Ross.
Ross Kiger,
Yeah,
my uncle,
uh-huh,
holding your brother.
uh-huh.
Okay. You want to come see?
Mhm.
And this is your mom?
Yes,
Her name again?
Eileen.
Eileen, oh yeah.
Actually,
with
she
the
was called
AI.
Eileen, but it was A-I-L-E-E-N, she was called Eileen.
Is this your brother too?
Uh-huh. Put those things on the floor.
Okay.
I think we have room, honey.
Well, actually, I can move over several inches too.
Yeah, we're fine.
Huddle up. Okay, so this is my Uncle Ross, Grandfather Kiger's brother.
Great uncle.
Yep.
Oh yeah, great uncle.
You look a little bit alike. Oh, great.
Well, here, put it, I mean, I've seen them, put it,
All right.
but then the light's over here, isn't it?
Yes,
Okay.
it's complicated.
A lot of these were taken up in St. Joe. They went up, gosh, we went up to
Is
St. Joe.
this your mom?
No, that's an
Marie?
aunt.
Is that Marie?
No, no.
What's
No,
it?
it's a generation older aunt. And I can't tell you,
okay.
and I can't tell you who in the world it is. But,
Okay. Anybody, any of these people you know?
well, that's my grandmother and my grandfather Rathburn.
Okay.
And that would be my brother and my cousin Charlie Matthews Jr. They were just 3 months apart.
Charlie looks a little bit annoyed with that whole,
Yeah, he
Situation.
probably was.
can you see
And-
okay?
And this is the house that the Matthews lived in, and my parents lived with them when the boys were little. Actually, they never lived alone, because when my parents moved out, why grandmother and grandfather moved in and lived with them until grandmother and grandfather died. So these were all taken up in St. Joe
Cute pictures.
with the boys, and they, those were red cars, and the grandparents bought them everything.
Those are pretty fancy looking toys.
Aren't they though?
Yes, they are.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh.
Now this is my aunt and Charlie Matthews Jr., my uncle and Charlie Matthews Jr. and so forth. The two boys, they were just 3 months apart. That's Charlie Jr. and grandfather. So mostly these are my mother's side of the family rather than the Kiger side for the most part.
I want one of those cars.
They were red.
Beautiful.
Oh, the boys had everything. This is somebody's kindergarten picture. That's my brother.
Okay.
And that's Charlie Matthews Jr. And these are other cousins, mostly on my mother's side of the family. I think all of them are on my mother's side of the family. I think I'm here. I think this is mother and me, and mother and me, and mother and me. Chubby cheeks.
Is that you?
Yeah, that has to be me. Because the boys were 6 years older than
Is
me.
this your dad? Can you tell?
Probably, yeah. Now here I am again. And this is, Uncle Al was sort of the godfather of the family. He never married.
He was on your mom's side?
Yeah, he was her uncle, my great uncle. And he just adored all of the children. My brother and cousin and me. We spent a lot of time in St. Joe in those early years because.
How come, was that like a,
Well, that's where my
your mom was from?
yeah, right.
These photographs are in excellent condition.
This is my dad. And
There's
so-
Ross.
now this is the house, we lived in this house until I was a
Oops.
senior. I can't remember whether it was high school or college. Give me a shove. It will keep ringing, I do believe. Good luck.
No, it doesn't look a bit
Hello?
familiar, but I guess why would he?
Yes,
Is that your great uncle?
Yes.
this is Mrs. Calkins. What can I do for you?
Yeah. Oh, you shouldn't look familiar.
Take this opportunity to move along.
Should I turn my video?
I'm not interested at all, thank you. Home improvement projects.
They want to improve your home?
I really am not looking for them. I usually remember to bring this in here when I sit down here, because it always rings.
Yeah. My dad was there.
There we are. There we are.
I suppose you could lie it down, right? Does it have to stand up?
No, done. It's okay.
All right.
It's fine.
Is this your brother?
Yes. Oh, yeah, I mean the tall one. I thought there was a third one over here. Yeah, he was 6 years older than I.
Okay.
Yeah, and my cousin, I mean, they were just 3 months apart. And they were basically 6 years older than I. As I say, my aunt and uncle never lived alone. Because my mother and father lived with them, and then when my mother and father got a house of their own, Grandma and Grandpa moved in with them and lived with them until they all died.
And this is your uncle who
This
you
is,
were married?
yeah, he was a great uncle, actually. He was my mother's uncle. And he was, oh dear, you don't call him chairman.
He's a dapper looking fellow.
Yeah, he was head of the fire department in St. Joe, fire chief. He was the fire chief in
Oh,
St. Joe, Missouri.
wow.
Yeah. And we went up to St. Look at this lovely. I think this is something that the boys, that my brother and cousin created, that car.
Ooh, that's a nice house. Is that the one in St. Joe?
That's the one in St. Joe, yeah.
That your aunt and uncle?
Now, these are Kigers. This is Grandma Kiger,
Okay, see, Oma.
and my grandmother. And so it would be,
No, that would
it would be your
Louise's.
generation's great grandmother.
Okay.
And her sister, Aunt Mandy, and
Mandy.
yeah, I think her name was Amanda,
Uh-huh.
but she was called Mandy, and it was Grandma Kiger's sister. And then this is Aunt Cora, who was the
Oh, okay.
oldest of the 8 Kiger children. There were 4 boys and 4 girls that grew up.
So Mandy is your grandmother's
Great.
sister?
Yes,
No, my,
my grandmother's sister,
Your grandmother's
yeah,
sister.
so my
Oh.
great-grandmother's sister.
right.
That's my great-grandmother.
Mm-hmm.
And she
Okay.
was married to John W.
John W. Kiger, physician.
The physician, the pediatrician.
Yep.
And we don't know her name
Oh,
You said she was Mandy.
though. No, that's Mandy.
yeah.
Oh, okay.
This is great-grandmother.
Great grandmother, Grandma Kiger. Mary something, I think.
Oh, she was the one, okay. I think she's the one that wrote these letters home about living out here.
Oh. Huh, I wouldn't have seen those,
Okay.
because they didn't come to me. Okay.
Okay, so, but that's Cora, that's my grandfather's sister.
That's correct. That's correct.
Okay.
Well, this is a house that we lived in on 63rd Street. It's still very much there. I lived there from the time I was 2 until I was a senior in high school. It was Christmas vacation my senior year in high school that we moved across the state line into Kansas.
Okay.
And my grandmother cried because we had moved into bloody Kansas. She was very much a Missourian.
And who are these folks?
That's my mother and dad long ago.
Oh, okay,
Uh-huh.
so this is Ross?
Yes.
And your mom Aileen?
Eileen, or, yeah, she was basically called Eileen. Yeah, okay. And this is somebody's birthday, no doubt, and they're not, those are not all related to me. That's Charlie Matthews Jr., and this is my brother. And I couldn't tell you who the others were. I think
Looks
they
like
were,
you probably weren't born yet.
no, I don't think so. These were somebody's birthday, and it was a neighborhood party. This is a house that we lived in for many years on 63rd Street. We'll drive by there. That's where I went. From that house, I went to grade school and high school.
Mm-hmm. And here's
Ooh.
Grandmother Kyra,
Uh-huh.
your grandmother.
Uh-huh.
And this must, who are these kids?
Well, that is Aunt Helen, who was.
Oh, okay, that's Aunt Helen, that's grandfather got your sister.
Yeah, I can't tell you who.
Went
I
to
think that's.
California.
I don't think that's a relative. I think that's a neighbor.
Okay.
And goodness only knows who all these people are. I mean, I'd have trouble to find them today.
And who's
But
this
this is my
cute
brother,
thing?
and this is
Oh.
Charlie Matthews Jr. when they were
I
infants.
love this picture.
Yeah. Yeah.
Wow, they look all, they have the same expression.
A smell.
Oh, big smile though.
Well, this was in our backyard on 63rd Street, and something was in bloom. I can't tell you if it was peonies or something else. But
There's great uncle, and this is
this is
Aunt
my dad.
Cora. I know,
No, that's
Mandy.
And Mandy, right? And me, yeah.
So this is your dad's aunt, right?
Yes. Yes, exactly. Mm-hmm.
So great Aunt Mandy.
Yeah.
Oh, look at all these women. I wonder if these are the. Oh no, there's
Well,
too
Lord,
many
look
to
at
be the
them here.
Kyners.
I don't know. That
Wow, 8, 7 women.
that looks like Aunt Helen.
Hmm.
One should have done something years ago about
I know.
identifying them.
Yeah.
This is obviously my mother and brother. And
That's a beautiful
that's
picture.
my dad and probably my brother there. Golf was a game.
Isn't that amazing?
Mhm.
Goes back so many generations. Oh, look at you on a horse.
Yeah, we went down in the Ozarks someplace, and
Is that your? That's not
no,
your
that
dad.
he's no relation to me. We were with the Elliots, very good friends. I called them Uncle Jack and Aunt Amelia, but they were not related. But they were my parents' good friends,
Mhm.
and we went, and that's Aunt Father.
Oh, okay.
He was on the trip. This is outside our house on 63rd Street. This is my brother and Charlie Matthews Jr. and a good friend of
So they
theirs.
stayed friends their whole lives.
The two cousins.
Yeah.
Yes, they were never really friends. They never really liked each other.
Oh, really?
I don't think they ever did.
Oh my
They were
gosh.
more competitors in one way or another.
Uh-huh.
Yeah.
Well, that's
And they
fun.
liked entirely different things. The first, I never will forget this. I came home one evening or something, and everybody was crying. I mean, the whole family was in an uproar. The boys had gone off to college, and they had pledged different fraternities.
Oh, and your family was devastated?
That was the end of the world.
Oh, that's right.
And God knows, I mean, they were so glad to be separate and on their own. They had never had a chance to do anything by themselves.
Oh,
And they
my
were formal
gosh.
rivals at that point, I guess.
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah.
What school was that?
University of Missouri.
Okay.
They went, their first year, they went to the local junior college, and they went down to the University of Missouri, Columbia as sophomores, and pledged different fraternities.
Wow, what a
Oh,
shocker.
it was terrible. It was absolutely.
And what's this?
Well, we're back in Washington, D.C. area, and we were wherever there was an airplane, I don't know. But that's where those were taken. We made a good many trips east. I mean, when we started, I was 7, and we went when I was 7, 8, and 10 to the East Coast.
Mhm.
And First
This-
Communion,
Oh, okay. Wow, look at that veil, would you?
how about that. Yeah. We were on
Oh,
fishing.
you got to be in the little fancy car too.
Yeah, how about that? This is sitting
With
on
your
our
brother's
front
dapper
stoop.
little hat and
How about
suit.
that? Yeah. Knickers.
Yeah.
Knickers were very much in as he got on long time. Well, of course, he's older there than he was there by several years.
I know my mom talks about my dad having to go to Yale when he was 16 and my grandmother keeping him in knickers. He was the only one at Yale in knickers.
I imagine so, yes.
So this is
That's my grandmother Kiger. Yeah. It's grandmother Kiger. She was visiting back east. I mean, this is on the porch. I
Oh,
think.
that's in Madison.
It's in Madison.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah, that's in Madison, exactly. She was a
Wow,
she
I
was a
wonder if
remarkable
those
woman.
pictures with grandmother are actually grandmother Kiger and not. I assumed they were the Dozies. But maybe they were the
No,
Kigers.
she went back and visited a good many times. Yeah.
Oh wow.
Mhm.
Wonder what she thought of the whole setup.
I don't know. I have no idea. Absolutely no idea.
She probably
She didn't
doted
know.
on.
You know. And this is in front of our house on 63rd. We'll go by there. Grandma and Aunt Cora.
Okay.
Aunt Cora was the
So
oldest in the
she's-
family.
It seems like she kind of stuck around. She kind of take care of.
Of Grandma?
Yeah.
Yeah, more or less. She and as my dad, as I probably my mother said, the women in the family did not have good luck in their marriages.
Yeah, you mentioned they were not that successful.
Yeah, and so Aunt Cora, supported herself. Aunt Laura supported herself. Now Aunt Stella and her husband were married, and I think adored each other. But he was absolutely no good as a family supporter. He never held a job more than 3 months, I don't think.
Wow.
But
Now tell me.
now
who
Helen
this
did
is
better.
again.
This
Is
is
this Cora
this
too?
is Aunt Cora, and this is
Aunt Mandy.
Aunt Mandy,
Great
who's a
Aunt Mandy.
generation. Yeah, she and grandmother were sisters.
Mhm.
Dad and
Ross.
Aunt Cora and mother and dad and grandma Kiger. Out in front of our house on 63rd. We'll go by there. It's not far away. We're back in Virginia. I loved our trips back to Virginia.
This must have been the country.
Yeah, this is down in the country. There was a family that lived up in Weir's Cave, and they lived in this lovely house that had indoor bathrooms. And behind the house, you had the Shenandoah River
I
and,
bet
and
this
this
is the
dam.
Cub.
And this is down at Cub Run in the country where they had outhouses.
That's a great looking creek.
Oh, a great creek. Yeah, the boys built this dam, and that made it deep enough for us to actually
Ah.
swim.
That's very industrious.
Yes, yes. This is the house up in Weir's Cave.
Another airplane.
Yeah, they were kind of new in that day. Now, where are we here? I mean, is this...
That's bigger than a creek.
Yeah, I'm wondering if your father is in here. If this is...
In Madison, maybe?
Yeah, but not the rest of the pictures aren't. So probably not. I can't imagine where we would have been in a boat. Never in a boat down in Virginia. There's no place to be in a boat down there.
I don't know if you'd recognize if Dad was in that or not. do you?
Well, I just have to think that might be your dad. That we might be...
You're saying he's not facing us.
Yeah. Well, let's see what's on the next page. And we're back down in Virginia here for sure.
Was this you?
Yeah, that
That's
was...
quite a little hat.
How about that? That was a tam o' shanter. Yeah, fuzzy.
Mm-hmm.
My brother visioned himself as a pole vaulter, but I don't think he ever made the track team.
Wow.
This is our house on 63rd Street, which we'll go by. This was taken down in Virginia. These are my brother's good friends.
And probably poor Charlie Matthews Jr.
Yeah. Don't know where Dad and Mother were. It looked like they were visiting in California, if you ask me.
Maybe they were visiting Helen.
Mm-hmm.
Hope this
Yeah, it does look like
microphone can pick
Helen.
us up.
Can you, do you, we could probably put it on a chair closer. Do you want to, we could stop and you
okay.
could play it back for a second and see? Okay, don't say anything.
All right.
Okay. This is in front of our house on 63rd, and that's Aunt Cora and Grandma and Dad. And I don't know who that other man is or where they are in that photo. Other than me and our 63rd Street house, the two next door neighbors. That's all that's
What a
left.
nice
And they're still
idea.
there. They're still there,
Wow.
yeah, down at Columbia, Missouri. This is Ross and his graduating thing, and I think this,
Is this your dad here?
no, that's Ross Jr.
Oh, that's Ross.
Uh-huh.
So that's not.
And that's Ross, and this is Ross and a
Oh,
good
that's
friend
right,
of
your
his.
brother's name was Ross.
Uh-huh.
Okay.
And this, I think, is, yeah, that's Charlie Matthews Jr.
Oh, poor Charlie.
Yeah. And this is Ross and a couple of his classmates, fraternity brothers. And Mother and Dad, this is our backyard out in Indian Hills. We had a lovely rock garden and pool. And obviously, this is the boys' graduation.
Oh, that's it.
Those are all,
Oh, here's some.
for goodness sakes, what have we here? Okay, this looks like when Ross and Mary Jo were getting married. This was a party. This is my brother and Mary Jo, his wife,
And
before
is
they
this
were.
you?
No, that's the couple who were having the party.
Oh, okay.
And I couldn't possibly tell you their name now.
Yeah, she's pretty.
And that's nothing you can really see. And you can't see much of that. That's the
Must
wedding
be the
reception.
wedding. Were you excited that your brother was getting married?
I think I probably was, yeah. My brother. Oh, gosh, probably no record. Time goes by,
That
Well.
is for sure.
yeah. Ross and Mary Jo leaving after the wedding. And yeah, I don't think there are any of these are the two important. Charlie Matthews Jr. was always in the military.
Wait a minute. Who are these people?
Well, that was some kind of an affair out at a lake somewhere. Don't ask me what I'd won, but something.
Champion.
Oh, this is when our house is in the process of being built. out
Oh,
in
this
Indian
one
Hills.
right here?
Well,
Oh,
not
the
this
other
one, no, the
Indian
one
Hills
that,
one?
It's huge.
It was pretty good size. We had, what, 4 bedrooms and a couple of baths upstairs, living room, dining room, kitchen, recreation room in the basement, et cetera, kind of thing. I'm thinking, yeah, you'll
This is-
recognize this. You'll
yeah.
recognize this.
There's Dad and Grandma there. That's
Oh, I haven't
nice.
seen that one yet. I'll take
No.
a picture of that. Keep it out.
Dad had very crooked teeth, didn't he?
Yeah, he did.
And I'll take a picture of it.
We could maybe get a copy. What was it that I was gonna Xerox? You were gonna, you said there was you thought a letter or something in a bottom drawer. And I said maybe we could go get a copy of it.
I remember
Remember?
you talking about a copy, but I don't know what.
Oh, I can't remember. I'm sure you can
Well, my
remember.
brother has a genealogy. And
That's what it was.
yes, we'll get that.
Hey, Ginny.
Short-term memory.
Good job.
Okay, that's all in
Okay.
here.
That's fun. We have to remember to
Just
put that other one back. I'll let you stop pretty soon.
No, this is fine. Well, some of these almost look the same. It's me in the backyard, my brother and me. This is our 63rd Street house. It's our first car. This is Uncle Al, the patriarch of the family up in St. Joe. It's my mother and dad, Ross and Charlie Matthews Jr., and that's my grandfather Rathburn. Our house on 63rd, dad, mother. Obviously some friends of my brother's.
Was this the creek before it was paved over?
I wonder. That,
Oh, it
No.
says Brush Creek on there.
yeah, that's the creek before it was paved over. Except that Brush Creek not only goes through the plaza, it begins, west of here even. It goes through the golf course here. So I don't know where that was actually. This is up in St. Joe.
I like to live in a place called St. Joe.
Yeah.
I think that's so cute.
Now don't ask me while I was taking a picture of that bird up on the telephone wire. Didn't really get a real close-up of the bird.
It came out pretty good considering how small your
Yeah.
target was.
This is our house on 63rd Street again, sitting out in front. Oh, they had an annual field day at all of the schools in the area, and these are some pictures from that. This is my dad, my brother, and I believe this is June Kiger, Dr. Fred Kiger, Uncle Fred's daughter,
Okay.
and This is Mary Bob, the younger
Oh,
daughter.
yeah, you have it written down.
Oh, okay.
Well, you just have June, well, you said June, Ross, and Mary Bob.
Yeah,
But that's gotta
that's
be
June,
right.
and Ross and Mary Bob. And the
And who
others,
is Mary Bob?
well, Mary Bob and June
Were both Fred's
were sisters of
daughters? Okay.
Dr. Fred's daughters, right?
So he was obviously you call him Dr. Fred, he was a physician?
Yes. Now, John W. Kiger, the father, my dad's father, was the first physician to limit his practice to pediatrics
Okay.
in the greater Kansas City area. And there is this plaque in the entrance to KU Med Center that has the names of the original faculty in
And he's
1906.
on there,
Yes.
1906,
Uh-huh.
wow. We should go take a picture of that, Jeff.
Yeah, you really
Yeah.
should.
And so his, then
Guess
his
who
kids-
this is? That's your father.
Is it? Oh, it
Yes.
says Jack Tiger. Madison, oh, it's in Madison. It does kind of look like him. Jeff, here's another one for you to take a picture of, but it can't come out of the book. The artist at work.
Yeah, yeah. Well, we went down in the Ozarks with the Elliots, our good friends. And
Well, oh yeah, we were going over it, let's see. Your grandfather was the pediatrician,
Uh-huh.
and how many, and Ross, was Ross a doctor?
My dad,
No, he was the paint executive.
yeah, there was only one
And
son that was, and that was Fred.
Fred was the only
Mhm.
doctor, okay.
Yeah, right.
Which is why I guess they called him Dr. Fred.
Yeah, this is my brother and Charlie Matthews, and a good friend of theirs, my brother, Charlie Matthews, and I can't tell you who the friend is. Well, I have it labeled here, Jack. That's not your dad. Charlie, Jack, and Ross. Oh, no, Jack Elliott. Yeah, good friend. It's my brother and me. I guess we went down in the Ozarks with the Elliots, the Matthews, the Elliots, and the Kigers. And that's the whole clan. This is back in Virginia. It's my dad. Obviously in Washington, D.C. The
Okay.
mall. And these are Virginia cousins. Hilton.
In Virginia, it says.
Hilton in Virginia, Ross. Oh, yeah, his first name was Kiger. There were several in the family whose first name, whose mother was a Kiger or something, whose first name was Kiger. That's Kiger Almond.
Oh, interesting.
Yeah.
Nora had said if she had kids, she was going to name them Kaiser. Here's your mom, Aileen,
Yeah.
Junior,
Yeah.
Ross Junior,
Yeah.
Virginia, and Dad.
Oh, this
Plus
is-
that's you.
Yeah, that's little me. That's Ross. Dad and me on 63rd. This is my mother's sister and my grandmother and my mother's sister's husband. And their son, and that's probably me, yeah, in Virginia. Anyway, standing on the lot where they built a house.
Mm-hmm.
Not far from our house. They lived at 6425 Jefferson, and we lived on 63rd Street, so they were about a block and a half apart. I mean, they were too close together. They talked to each other every morning, and nobody breathed without the other one knowing it.
Oh, really?
Yeah, it was
Oh.
just smothering.
This is your
My mother and her sister. Yeah, just absolutely smothering. And this is back in Virginia, I think probably on our first trip back there. This was a lovely home up in Weir's Cave that one of the family lived
With the
in.
indoor plumbing.
Yeah, with the indoor plumbing. This was a family picnic. There were jillions of relatives,
Uncle
just
Fred,
all over
Frank.
the house. Yeah. Mervyn and Margaret were cousins. They were a generation older than I. Here's the whole Kit Kat and caboodle on the porch.
Wow.
These are, and Kiger and Hilton, they were the ones that I was closest to of those
I wonder
those
if
folks.
he's still around.
Kiger Almond, oh geez, I wonder.
Tiger Almond.
I'm trying to think, for heaven's
Tiger's the
sakes.
first name?
Yeah.
Kiger, yeah, there were a number in the family who had Kiger as a first
You
name.
know, the mom's maiden name
Yeah.
became the kid's
I see.
first
Yeah,
name.
yeah.
Interesting. Tiger.
Obviously, we're in Washington, D.C.
Could have named Todd that. Could have been Tiger.
I wonder if apparently I've tried to identify almost everybody here, but that seems impossible. But there were a lot of cousins back there. I wonder if I ever got my kids there. I got David there when he was living in Washington, D.C., working in Washington, D.C. I took him down in the Valley of Virginia to meet all those cousins. But I don't think John
He
or
was
Kathy
like,
ever met.
oh, Mom.
No, not David.
Oh, he likes
Oh
all that.
God, yes, that's right up his alley.
Hmm.
Yeah, he wants to know
Is he the one
everybody
that
in the
did
family.
the
and what-
genealogy?
Hmm?
Is he the one that did the
Uh-huh.
genealogy?
Oh,
Uh-huh.
okay.
Yeah. Okay. This is Glenn Deffabaugh. He's a first cousin. His mother was a Kiger.
His mother was a
Uh-huh.
Kiger.
Uh-huh.
So either Laura,
Well, see, there were
Cora-
4 girls and 4 boys.
Laura, Cora, Helen, and Stella.
That's right, and Stella was the Deffabaugh. Stella was his mother.
Oh, okay.
And that's in our backyard probably.
Deffabaugh.
Defabaugh.
Oh.
Okay. This is in Virginia, obviously, with the Jillians of cousins. Now here's Grandma Kiger and Uncle John. That's John.
Oh, he's looking young.
And is that Jack? This must be Jack.
Oh.
Okay, let me get the camera
This
out.
must be your dad. Well, it's a mighty small picture, but
That's all right. It's a good camera.
Wow, I can't believe it. It's a young picture of grandfather. Wow, and there's Dad with a dog.
uh-huh.
I wonder what dog that is. I have these pictures of Dad with dogs, but I've never seen that dog.
Well, maybe it didn't. Maybe it belonged to somebody up in Connecticut or whatever.
Well,
Wherever they
that's
were.
true. It might not be his dog, right, I suppose. All 3 of these, honey.
Okay.
We've got 2 cameras with us.
Good.
I am just completely equipped
We'll
today.
share this with David since he's the
Yeah.
family.
Right.
Right.
Okay, so if you can just hold it like that, I'll just take a snapshot.
Can you get this one out of the way?
I think so. Do you have enough light, Jeff? Because we can hold it under the lamp.
I think it's enough.
You think it's enough. We're not gonna have a lot of opportunities to take this if it doesn't come out.
Looks a
You
little
want to
bit
sit?
better under
Do you
the
want to
lamp.
sit where I'm sitting?
No,
We'll
we'll just,
move the book. Why don't you prop the book up against the back of the chair?
okay.
And let me show you, there was another one in here too. One with Dad in the water.
Okay.
Grandfather was pretty handsome.
Mm-hmm.
That's where your dad
He
gets
had
it.
pretty severe,
Just a
features. He was very thin, I guess.
Yeah.
Let's see. Where's that one? Oh yeah, right here.
All right, well, let me choose one of those pages to start with.
Mm-hmm.
We might as well
You can go on if you
move
like.
along.
Okay.
And then we're gonna stop and we're gonna go away and then we're gonna get back together this evening.
Whatever you want. I'm available and delighted you're here. These are pictures, it looks like from Wellesley.
Oh, yeah. You were very good about keeping track.
I think it's better.
Yeah, these are all, this
Yeah.
is my freshman dorm. It was one of the original.
How
it
nice
was
to live in a house.
It was, yeah, most of the freshmen, as I said, lived in the village and had to bicycle to campus. This house was actually on campus. There were 2 old wooden houses that were on campus, and I was lucky enough
So
to live
it
in
wasn't
that
a
one.
sorority house, it was just used
No,
as
you
a
didn't
dorm.
have, no, you didn't have sororities, no, that was a dorm. This was a brand-new chemistry physics building that had
Wow,
just been
it's
bought.
huge.
And that was brand new, just opened the year that I got there in '36.
And who's Mary and Marie?
Well, these were best friends. Marie was my roommate freshman year, and
Okay.
Mary lived right next door.
Okay, so
and,
they were just friends with
We
yours.
were good friends all the way through. We moved. You moved as a group usually, and you drew numbers, and you were lucky if there were at least 2 of the in groups of 6. If there were at least 2 in your group that had low numbers, you had a reasonable chance of getting maybe
The
your
rooms you
third
wanted.
choice.
Oh, I see.
But anyway, we moved from
Which
our.
one are you looking for, honey?
I have this one.
Okay, here,
And
if you
then
give
the
it to
other
me, I
one.
can find it. It's about this much.
I'll have to change the batteries. Just a minute.
These 3, honey.
Okay.
These are good and best friends from Wellesley. one of the best friends, Virginia Cox,
Sounds
Virginia
familiar.
Cox Barber, his family had just bought a farm up in New Hampshire, and we went up there a good deal, actually. We went up there in the winter and went skiing.
What is this?
Well, this was my roommate freshman
Oh,
year.
okay.
Yeah.
Well, look at all that snow, Ginny.
Yeah. Wellesley with the snow.
Such a pretty campus.
It
I
is
love
that,
Wellesley.
yeah, it is that. Oh, geez.
Okay.
Well, we tried to ski around on the campus even. Well, you did have one reasonably decent hill you could ski down. Sure, I wonder.
The problem with skiing down a hill is walking up the
Oh,
hill.
I know, and you didn't have any kind of a
No.
toe on campus.
Uh-uh.
This was my room freshman year. These are all. May Day, you have the, I forget what that race was. But anyway, the winner of the race was supposed to be the first one in the class to be married. That was a tradition,
Oh,
you know. These are various things. Photos are come and gone. Tree Day was a big weekend. Oh, the freshman class planted the class tree, and it was a secret, except if you were, I was on the committee that chose the tree. And we knew where the tree was, and we led the chase to get to the tree. And if somebody else, some other class got to the tree before you did, you never had a class tree.
oh, wow.
A lot
How
at
could
stake there.
anybody know?
Yeah.
Okay, I'm gonna change the battery.
All right.
And there was a big tennis match. Vines and Bell versus Lott and Stauffer, looks like,
Yeah.
whoever they were.
Stuff and stuff.
Vines is a name that's familiar to me as a tennis player.
Your folks didn't want you to come home between semesters?
Oh, God, no. I mean, for
It's
one
too
thing,
far.
you didn't fly. I mean, there were no airplane flights in those days. And it took 2.5 days, and it was expensive.
Mm-hmm.
So there was no way. No, I never came home at that time of the year.
Wow.
So when you went back at Christmas, you didn't come home until June.
Wow.
So, but that was all right.
And those stuff.
Three Falls. Oh, look at that. I don't know how. It must be up in the, obviously it has to be up in New Hampshire. It's my roommate sitting in the window. Oh, this is a big, this looks like May Day at Wellesley.
It says inauguration parade. So
Oh,
did you have
all
a new
right, so-
president? Yeah.
Yes, we got a new president, Pres McAfee. Yeah, Miss Pendleton had been there forever, and she retired at the end of my freshman year. There was a dormitory named after her.
I saw a picture.
Christmas of '76 at home.
How about 36?
Is that what it says? That
I
makes
think
more sense,
so.
considering I graduated in '39, '35 from high school. This is when our house was brand new. We'll go by
Oh,
here.
it's gorgeous.
It faces the golf
Wow.
course, it faces the Indian Hills Golf Course, and then Roy and I built here and we face the Mission Hills Golf Course. Which, now we belong to the
I
Indian
think you're
Hills Golf
stuck in a
Course.
rut, Jenny.
Yeah, and your dad played on the golf course across from this house a lot. And,
Look at how pretty this house is, honey. The big window and the porch.
Gorgeous. Is
and
that the one we
everything.
saw being built?
Yeah, the picture.
Before?
Mhm.
Yeah.
We're gonna see the real thing.
yeah,
Tomorrow.
we moved into that my senior year of high school.
The Kiger family, it says.
Yeah, my brother, this must have been when he was an intern at the KU Med Center. And mother, dad, and me. This is up in New Hampshire between semesters again, obviously.
You had way too much fun.
Oh, I did enjoy college. Yeah.
That's a
This-
Shirley.
This is the daughter of the caretakers of the farm up in New
Oh,
Hampshire.
okay.
Yeah. And me and Virgie and Fran and Virgie's mother, and it was her family that owned the farm up in New Hampshire. We usually went back before college started in the
Uncle
fall.
John, Jack, and Mort.
Uh-huh.
Or Jack Mort.
No. No.
That's probably Uncle John.
That's Uncle John. And that's Jack, and that's Mort. That's your
Who are
dad.
Jack and Mort.
Well,
Jack's my dad.
yeah, Mort, God, he did have a last name.
And
He-
where was this?
That was, well, it would have been where they were living in Brooklyn.
In Brooklyn?
Yeah.
Wow.
It had to be where they were living in
I wonder who
Brooklyn.
Mort is. It sounds vaguely
Well, Mort was one
familiar.
of Jack's best
Was
friends.
he one of the Westminster clubs?
Exactly, he was, and he was my date
Okay,
for
okay.
junior prom at Wellesley.
Oh,
He and I dated quite a bit.
Wow. Picture.
There may,
Mort, I'm trying to think
there
of
may
the
be,
last
I'm not
name.
coming up with it either,
Okay.
although I could get out my college letters and tell you.
You have your college letters?
Uh-huh, I have, my dad, who was it? I think it was my dad that had me write on loose leaf notebook paper. And I have a loose leaf notebook like this for each of my 4 years of college, which I will give
So
to
it was
Wellesley.
like a journal thing?
Yeah, I will give it to
Oh,
Wellesley eventually.
wow,
Yeah, I mean, I think,
excellent.
I must tell David and John that it goes to Wellesley when I die.
Wow.
Now, the other book you took a picture of, is that this one? Because we didn't get all the way through this.
We did?
No, because Jeff,
Oh, okay.
there's an alarm going off.
Yeah, it's okay.
Okay.
I don't hear it.
It's very faint.
Mm.
I wake up to it though, so
Oh,
I
dear.
sort of conditioned.
Good. Oh.
What happened?
Well, sometimes there's the focus thing on here. I have to cover it up with my finger because it has this little red light that comes out.
Oh,
Yeah.
but I mean, you're okay so far, right? Nothing
Yeah.
that you can't fix. Okay,
That's
let's see,
correct.
where were we?
No, it doesn't come out there.
Maybe
Here.
this was this the book that you took the pictures from? No, this doesn't look a bit familiar. I don't think we've done this book yet. No.
Okay.
Okay, and then
Let's do this one.
give this one back.
No, we haven't seen this one either. Where, do you know where the one is that,
It was down here, the one I took pictures on.
this
Uh,
one?
Or whatever was down there.
This was down there.
That's the one I took pictures from.
Okay, well, okay, yeah, here it is, okay. This is the one we didn't quite get through. Okay, this is the, okay, here we are.
This is where we are.
Yep.
Okay. Well, this is an uncle of my mother's. He was always called Uncle Bud. He never married, and they lived up in St. Joe. And this would be my mother's, well, this would be my mother's brother-in-law, my aunt's husband. And that must be Charlie Matthews Jr., what Charlie Matthews Jr. looked like at that point in time.
He
Charlie
was
Matthews-
always Charlie Matthews Jr., huh? Never just Charlie or,
Oh, no, but I'm just distinguishing him in
Oh,
a
okay.
sense. He lives in Florida now, and I do talk to him on the phone
okay.
periodically. He lives over in Punta Gorda, I think.
no, that's where Dad lived.
Well, okay, he lives in St. Petersburg then.
Okay,
Same general
Mhm,
Gulf area,
mhm.
yeah. Okay, this would be my grandmother and grandfather, and they and my aunt, my mother's sister and uncle lived together and bought this house together. This is the house.
oh, here's grandmother,
Mhm.
and with that same dog, so it must have been their dog. Jeff, do you wanna look at this? I think it might be too dark.
Aunt Louise
to take a
Kiger, it
picture
says,
of.
yeah.
I need to change tapes.
Okay. You got him very busy.
Uh-huh.
Yes.
Yeah, I have.
Okay, well, why don't we hold off on this one, because we might want to take a picture of that. And you're done with this one, right?
Yeah.
Okay. This one we weren't quite through.
Okay.
You're glad somebody's keeping track.
Yes.
Okay, oh yeah, we were stopping with Uncle John, Jack, and Mort.
And the principal says he